going on? Poison Pen BK, best stop Brooklyn, New York City, man. This is BattleRap.com.
You mentioned lackluster, obviously from the mega events, Gladiator School, Ether, and Total Slaughter. There were some issues with each one of them. Would you say that overall, from the major established platforms like King of the Dot, like Don't Flop, like URL, was that a lackluster year as well?
Well, maybe not as bad. Maybe lackluster is a harsh word, but even if you look at URL, I mean, for the most part, their battles are pretty consistent as to what's been going on the past few years. But just as far as the sheer number of events, they've had a lot less events going on. You know, I'm not handling business with them directly right now, so I don't know what the issues may be. But it's not it's consistent. Before they were like 5, 6 major events in a year for at least for URL, and I don't even remember how many. The last event was Summer Madness, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's January, and the last event was Summer Madness. And Summer Madness had some dope matches and shit, but that was...
Summer Madness was late, too. It was like...
Yeah, Summer Madness was September, October?
Yeah,
it was like
September.
It was like Autumn Madness. Well, actually, no, because summer is until the end of September, so I guess technically it was still Summer Madness. But yeah, so it's still been a good number of months since their last event. But I heard they're expanding. I think they're going to go to the UK, get some MCs out there, so it should be dope for them. So they're probably just restructuring right now. Even King of the Dot, yeah. So I mean, they've scaled the number of events down as well. So haven't been as many events, because usually those are the two platforms along with Don't Flop that are providing most quality content. Everyone's kind of slowed down, and then with the quote unquote celebrities coming in and doing the major events, that also took away from what was going on as well. Maybe not took away, but it was like if you're going to the same pool of MCs all the time, as far as the marquee talents, I mean, obviously everyone's picking from the same crop. So if there's a major event, like if there's a Gladiator School going on here, and then a Summer Madness is here, then you can't do a King of the Dot event or vice versa or whatever have you. Or even guerrilla warfare, so a lot of things conflict. So, motherfuckers should consult with each other before they throw these events, man. Oh, Duel in the Desert, shout to Teddy. Duel in the Desert was popping too. Yeah.
So, you mentioned that there are fewer events from the major leagues, but it feels like there's more events than ever. There's now one or two, mid-sized to large-sized events weekly, it feels like. With all these incoming smaller leagues, do you feel like that's adding to battle rap or taking away from it?
Those events are adding to battle rap as far as keeping the MCs fed. I'd be a fool to tell someone to not get paid, not to get their check, not to eat, not to feed their family. It's something that needs to be done. A lot of these guys don't have any other source of income, on a consistent basis. So, I mean, go get your money. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing as far as just keeping the talent fed. But a lot of the times, the battles aren't presented in a fashion that makes people gravitate towards them anyway. There's a formula that's been tested time and time again, and a lot of times people come in with their own addition or trying to reinvent the wheel, and the execution isn't always there, and a lot of the times the execution, it just falls flat. Like I had an interview with Dirtbag Dan, and they were talking about Total Slaughter, and I was telling them, being at Total Slaughter, that shit was amazing. But I wasn't watching the feed at home. That was inconsistent or whatever have you. But watching it live, maybe I had a biased vantage point because I was up in the balcony looking over, and I'm up there with, certain people or whatever have you. But I heard everything. I saw everything. Obviously, I didn't have any issues with a feed because I was there live, and I thought the presentation was amazing. But I guess that didn't translate well to the people that were viewing at home.
I agree. I was there, and I was there for Gladiator School too, which had a real nice vibe to it.
Right.
It was a lot of fun, and I guess it feels like some of these major events have figured out how to do it in the building, but no one, arguably other than UW with Hollow versus Lux, has actually had a successful live pay-per-view yet. how important is it for them to get that right?
Well, to keep this business going, it has to be perfected eventually, man, because the purses that a lot of guys are getting, the overhead that the promoters are paying, honestly, it's not just the money at the door for the most part, doesn't usually add up. So a lot of people are breaking even or just getting by, and you're not in business to just get by. You're in business to make money. Obviously, we do the battle rap thing. From its essence, it wasn't a money-making vehicle for the main people that are involved. Well, that were involved from the inception of this current crop, the modern crop of battling. Money wasn't the key factor. That became a factor afterwards because it grew into a monster that needed to be fed. So you had to do certain things. Now you have to, buy, where we were in a park before, or at a some like YMCA or whatever have you before. Now we have to go to venues and govern ourselves and have, crowd control or whatever have you. Before it was just like, all right, we got 20 people, we outside, I'm around, you going around. Obviously nobody's making any money because, with the exception of before the battle events, Smack DVD, that was an integral part of the DVD a decade ago, whatever have you. So that might have been one of the only vehicles that make money was through the selling of the DVDs, but I don't know how much Sirius made on that or Mook or whoever, But after that period or whatever have you, it turned into a money-making vehicle. So now MCs are like, okay, I need this amount of money for a battle. And granted, you put in a lot of work, you may deserve to get paid a battle, but the numbers you ask for still may not be economically feasible. The thing is, as an MC, you're thinking about yourself, which is perfectly fine, nothing wrong with it. But as a promoter, I'm thinking about everyone, the entire scene. I'm thinking about, am I going to make money? Is the bar going to be covered? Is the insurance going to be covered? There's so many other things as opposed to just paying you. So I have to make sure all that is covered and you're covered as well. You're just worried about you. So of course, you may say you're worth 10, 15, 20,000, whatever the number may be. And I'm like, well, if you break it down, how much people pay to get in the club, you can look at the YouTube views and things, but that don't generate a lot of paper. You can look into yourself. So, people have to just be realistic. Obviously, you're going to want to make your money. And now at this stage in the game, we're all in it to make money. I still love it, but, I'm not, that's why you don't see as much Poison Pen events or whatever have you. I throw private events now. I do events when the check is cut. I've outgrown the days of, dipping into my funds for my touring or my working or whatever have you to support a scene of battle rappers who don't even realize, how much we put in to make them stars. This battle shit didn't make me a star. You understand what I'm saying? But it's fine. Like, I knew what I was doing I knew what I wanted to do when I got into it. But with that being said, there's just a lot more that goes into it than people realize, because you can put all the money in the world behind it, but without the know-how and without, that experience, these events are gonna still look how they look. And you're gonna wonder, damn, okay, this is not how it happens when Organic throws it. This is not what happens when Direct throws it, when Smack throws it, when Penn throws it. They all tend to look a little shaky. You can put all the money in the world behind it, but without that proper know-how and without that trial and error, it's never gonna look, how it should,